Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a brewery that, to be honest, on some level is partially responsible for all of this. Now, this beer we're going to take a look at today is a collab between two different breweries, and we'll get onto those in a minute, but it is called Just for Kicks, and it is an 8% Imperial Red Ale. And the two breweries that it is a collab between are 71 Brewing and Brew Toon. Both are Scottish breweries, and both, I believe, have actually had beers feature on the channel before. But one of them, Brew Toon, has had an awful lot feature very, very early on in the first days of, well, this channel existing. I was playing around with the idea of reviewing beer. I wasn't quite sure if that was something I wanted to do or not. I placed an order for a related project, and I had a beer from them which I posted about on Instagram, and they messaged me going, look, I don't know if you've tried the beer yet, but we think that batch is bad. Let us send you some to say sorry, basically. And they sent me loads of stuff, and I had a great time with them. They made lots of videos, featured lots of times, fantastic stuff, and they haven't been back since, purely for the reason that they've never been available at shops that I'd normally buy from. Until now. This beer was purchased from a local kind of taproom bottle shop, along with a host of others that I posted a picture of in my kind of community stream the other day. And yeah, this is the second one we're reviewing from it. The first one, well, if you've not seen it yet, I'll let you go and do it, but I wasn't that impressed, given that, well, all of these beers cost top dollar as a result of where they were from. They were bought at effectively in a bar prices, so very few of them were less than £5 a can, some of them quite a bit more. So, but anyway, this one, fingers crossed, is very good. As I say, 71 Brewing Co, Brew Toon, Just for Kicks, Imperial Red Ale, 8%. Before we get into it then, let's take a quick look at this can. It's got this beautiful kind of almost distorted, digitized artwork. Lots of sharp lines akin with the 71 Brewing's logo. And I'm guessing, given that they appear first on the can, that actually, well, it's going to be brewed there. Both, as I say, are Scottish breweries. 71, I believe, are in Dundee, and Brew Toon are in Peterhead. Loads of info on the back there, which we'll get into later. But yeah, 440ml can, 8%. Let's get into it. Hey, sorry to interrupt, but this is kind of important. Currently, only 29% of people who watch my videos regularly are actually subscribed to this channel, and in order to be able to bring you bigger and better content, that figure needs to get closer to 50%. So please, if you wouldn't mind, just click that subscribe button below the video. It doesn't cost you anything, and it would help me a whole bunch. So thank you, and now back to the video. Now then, I have to admit I was a little bit ambitious with the pour on this one, so I don't think that's their fault, and that was me doing it a bit too quickly. But if I put this up to the light, it's got a nice semi-hazy, light ruby red colour through it. It looks very dark on the camera, almost black, but actually it's a distinctly kind of deep, almost strawberry or raspberry red beer. It's definitely a creamy coloured head to this one, and I have to say, it looks pretty good. On opening, the aroma is quite yeasty, actually. Now, I've had some red ale recently. I brewed my own, in fact, and that was, yeah, it had a bit of homebrew funk about it. I'm starting to wonder if I hadn't done so bad after all, because this has also got some of those, yeah, slightly more lively, yeasty notes just floating around, but that may change. But anyway, so let's find out, shall we? Aroma time. Okay, this smells a lot better than mine did, but not too dissimilar. I have to say, this feels just better. It's citrusy, red berries, sweet, a bit of caramel, a bit of a almost piney, grassy note. Now, I should now say, when I bought this, I spotted the breweries. I went Scottish breweries. I saw red ale, and my mind slipped to Scotch ale, which is what I thought I was buying. It's not. It's a red ale, American red ale, so it's got a heap of American hops in it, I'm going to assume. And it has got that slightly piney, slightly resinous aroma, but it's undeniably fresh about it. It's not foggy. It's not too, yeah, wet and damp, if that makes any sense. Definitely a bouquet of tones going on in there. Quite a lot to go at, so let's get into it, shall we? Cheers. Okay, well, I'm glad to say This is definitely better than the previous beer, no doubt about it. It's always an interesting one, I find. Darker coloured beers with American hop profiles, quite often something doesn't quite gel for me. And whilst I'm not immediately smitten with it, this has got a very alluring return quality about it. Let's keep going. You know what? There's something about this that just, yeah, makes me smile a bit. There is a quality here that it just makes for a very, very nice experience. So what does it actually taste like? Well, that's really interesting. It's got all the trademarks, I guess, of a host of US hops, but it's not packing the citrus punch bowl vibe that they normally do. It's almost acting as a kind of a seasoning palette to the base beer, which, well, has got this nice burnt caramel and subtle sweet red fruit vibe to it. It's almost got like this charred biscuit malt base that's just very alluring, keeps you dragging you back in for another sip. And now, I'm hesitant to say this because after the previous review where I said the beer wasn't for me, didn't really like it, it changed a bit as I carried on drinking it. And I got to a point where the aroma was almost starting to feel a bit like Marmite. And this now, you know that kind of the first bit of the aroma of Marmite, you've not quite got the intensity, it's just this kind of dry, savoury element. I'm starting to pick that up in this, which is making me wonder whether I'm unwell. Have I got some sort of illness pending and it's changing my taste and smell profiles? I'm not sure, but I don't hate that, by the way. And beer and Marmite are related, so maybe there's just something going on with the grain in the brewing world right now that is causing that. I don't really know, but as I say, it's got this slight burn, char, caramelised quality to it that I'm really digging. The hops are all there. There's little bits of sweet orange peel and maybe even an argument for a bit of like barbecued pineapple. That's really the route that this is going down. I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to top this up right now for the bit that I missed on the original pour, which means it must be time for a quick top to bottom taste test to try and understand exactly what I'm talking about. So initially, a bit of a sweet bitter mix on the front of the tongue, lightly carbonated, mouthfeel actually excellent, I have to say. Really digging this, really enjoyable. Mid palate is really just a hint of what's to come. There's a few of those kind of barbecuey, caramel, toffee, bonfire toffee notes, and some really, really subtle hints at that sweet red fruit. And then, as you swallow, instantly a big bitter hit, what you would expect from that US hop profile. Then it fades away, and you get into that kind of barbecued pineapple, as I said. Then you get a big hit that's more deep, rich, almost overly baked biscuit. And it rounds out with another kind of layer of, I guess, almost dull bitterness, which is, again, reminiscent of that US hop profile. I'm actually really digging this, I have to say. The Marmite sensation is not going away on the nose for me. It's getting, if anything, a bit more bold and a bit more intense as I go down the glass. It's not an easy drink, this one, and if you try it and it's totally different, tell me, because, as I say, I've got a horrible feeling there's something wrong going on with the olfactory senses at the minute. But as something different, something very flavourful that's not juice bomb or overly hopped IPAs, it's not big, rich, sweet stouts, it's something on its own, and yeah, I have to say, I'm really, really enjoying it. Right, let's take a look at the can to see what it's meant to taste like. On the front then, we've got 71 Brewing Co. Brew Toon, just for kicks, Imperial Red Ale at 8%. And on the back, it goes on to say, just for kicks, made with our friends from Peterhead, Brew Toon, this big-hitting American red ale balances malt sweetness with a big fruit and pine aroma from a cocktail of classic American hops. Okay, yes. Yes, the grassy and pine part's definitely more on the nose, but it does say in the aroma, so yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, there isn't really a great more info on the can. There's 3.5 UK units in this can because it is a big boy at 8%. It's vegan friendly, yeah, fresh modern beer brewed in Dundee. So yeah, that is where 71 Brewing are. It was brewed at 71 rather than at Brew Toon. But I have to say, it's not bad. It's probably not for everyone, and a lot of you may buy this and hate it. But as I say, something that's a bit out of the ordinary, but with enough familiarity to instantly just jump in and get on with. Yeah, that, for me, that's a good one. And that really is all I've got to say about it. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you haven't already, subscribe if you will be so kind. And I'll catch you next time. Cheers.